My name is Quentin DeBerry from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thought I would do a video as my first post in terms of my leadership wall and what I've experienced the last couple of years in the master's program at CSU Global, and theories and approaches about leadership for me. And so there's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that goes, "Do not go where the path may lead, go where there's no path and leave a trail." And so when I look at leadership and I think about theories, there are a couple of theories that stand out for me in terms of where I'm at this moment in my life. And so I look at situational leadership and participative leadership as kind of the two that I lean on the most. Participative leadership is when you're leading groups of people and projects. You're not just dealing with yourself. There's an end goal that needs to be accomplished, and you usually have about 13, 14 people with their own idea and sometimes agenda of how we should reach that goal. And for me, as I've learned over the last couple of years in different corporate leadership roles and nonprofit roles, is often we fail or we had challenges because we didn't understand the value that each person brought to the group. We were not welcoming in terms of diversity of opinions, diversity of background, and diversity of a skill set. And so as I've grown and got deeper into the program and things that I pull out of my own individual life, what worked and what didn't work, and started implementing them in my daily interactions as a full-time leader, I started to see benefits of it. And so I would normally, one thing I do when I'm with new teams and new groups is send out strength founders so that I can understand the people that I'm working with. Just because we have the same goals doesn't mean we have the same map of getting there. And that's the challenge of navigating leadership, is really being able to understand what people's strengths are and what value they bring to the table. And then the next will be situational leadership. I think situational leadership for me is a lot about my life and how I was raised and how I've gotten to this point of one class away from my master's. So I was born with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which later turned into rheumatoid arthritis. I've never met my biological dad, and my mother moved away when I was in the fourth grade. And so when you look at my life, you were like, well, when I look at my life, I look at, hey, I've beaten every statistic there is for an African American male. What did you do different, and how can it be shared across in a way that still brings value of originality and realness, but also an expectation that it wouldn't be easy. So to go back to translate it back to situational leadership is, I often remember times where I just would had to learn to think, and that could be something simple as how am I going to buy myself a new pair of shoes? That for me at that time, that meant I need to get a job to afford the things I want. Oh, how am I going to get home? If I walk this way home, it's quicker, faster, and safer. And I quickly developed situation in terms of which friends would get me in trouble and which friends would something good would happen. So you start to identify situations and how they play out. Fast forward a few years later, I ended up going to Winston-Salem State University, where I served as student body president. And that was my first taste of just real organic leadership and a discovery phase of who I was and what I wanted to be. In that situation, it was times where I would be with all the football players, and then I would be with the cheerleaders, and then I would be with the Greeks. Then I would be campus with the computer science students. Really learning and cultivating and getting as much knowledge from people, because I knew if I was around the right people, the right opportunities would manifest or come to fruition. So really understanding how to operate in different situations. And for once a month, for 2 years, I would go to a different campus in North Carolina. So I would spend time at UNC Chapel Hill, then the next week be at Fayetteville State, and the next week be at NC State, and the next week be at Appalachian State. And so that equipped me with just being in different situations and understanding people and how they think and understanding demographics, and really true my real choice of diversity, of understanding that everyone in the world doesn't look like me. They don't come from the same small town that I came from, or not even the same living situation or upbringing that I had, and really understanding there's still value that they bring to the table, and understanding um, how to relate to people, how to just have a normal conversation with the guy that graduated from UNC Chapel Hill with the same exact degree that I did. What is his or her plans, and how does it help me become a better person? Does it help me a better leader? And that's really all I cared about at the time, regardless of anything else. Is, does this person make me a better Quentin? In terms of challenges of leadership, for me early on was being very super direct and understanding that everybody can take. And so you could be a great leader, you can be a great motivator, you could be a big inspirator, but you still have to communicate that to people. And so my challenge was just talking to people too direct, and not, if they didn't know me, they couldn't handle it. It was like, oh, he's been too harsh. Over the last couple of years, I've really tried to develop a sense of empathy, but also um, having enough emotional intelligence to understand when I'm getting played and when this is serious. One thing about leadership is it should always be fun. Um, there's a book I recently read by Brad Lomack that I think personally describes my leadership style. It personally describes my life and how I've gotten to this point. It was called H3 Leadership: Be Humble, Always Hustle, and Stay Hungry. For me, being humble has gotten me to places I only dreamed of. Always hustling has taken me to the highest peaks of whatever I've wanted. Um, and be hungry, be humble, um, and hustle. Hungry was something that just, hey, if you do not hunt, you don't eat. And so just really understanding those three characteristics and applying them daily. There's so much more to leadership than a video could share, but I'm looking forward to learning from everyone in the class. Thank you so much.